Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. So, folks, there's some intriguing buzz swirling around the Steelers right now, and it involves none other than Shilo Sanders, the standout safety from Colorado. Now, for those of you who follow college football closely, you know Sanders has been making waves lately, but his journey hasn't been smooth sailing. Recently, he experienced the end of his stint with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after a brief period there. But the latest reports suggest that the Steelers might just be the perfect landing spot for him moving forward. And honestly, this potential move could shake things up in a division that's already fiercely competitive. The AFC North is known for its tough defenses, gritty play, and teams that are constantly fighting to claim the top spot. But adding a player like Sanders could give Pittsburgh an extra edge. Now, why are the Steelers considering Sanders? Well, for starters, there's a clear connection. During Colorado's Pro Day back in April, Sanders had a notable moment with Kelvin Fisher, a scout for the Steelers who's been keeping an eye on him. That kind of interaction doesn't happen by accident. Fisher has a reputation for identifying talented defensive prospects, and this connection hints at a serious interest from Pittsburgh. Plus, the timing is interesting because the Steelers recently made a significant move at safety by trading Minkah Fitzpatrick back to the Miami Dolphins in June. Fitzpatrick has been a cornerstone of the Steelers' secondary for years, a versatile ball-hawking safety who's been pivotal in their defensive schemes. However, with Fitzpatrick gone, the Steelers had to fill that void. They responded by signing Chuck Clark, who brings veteran experience, and they also added Juan Thornhill and undrafted free agent Sebastian Castro. But even with these additions, the team might be looking for a long-term solution, someone young, versatile, and with high upside. And that's where Shilo Sanders could come into play. His blend of athleticism, instincts, and potential makes him an intriguing candidate. Head coach Mike Tomlin is known for his talent development and willingness to take chances on players with high upside, especially if they fit the team's gritty, competitive culture. Thinking about Sanders signing with the Steelers isn't just a speculative move. It's a low-risk, high-reward scenario. This is a player who, despite some recent controversies, has shown flashes of brilliance on the field. Of course, his recent preseason outing with Tampa Bay included a misstep. He threw a punch during a game against the Bills, which understandably raised eyebrows. But let's be honest, in the NFL, players often learn and grow from their mistakes. The Steelers have historically been a team that values resilience and character, and if Sanders can channel his talent and focus into his game, he could become a key piece of their defense for years to come. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. There's been some chatter, some negativity, especially from critics and even some former players. Recently, Antonio Brown, who's no stranger to controversy himself, took to social media to blast Shilo Sanders, Shadur, and even Deion Sanders after Sanders' stint with Tampa Bay ended. Brown's comments stirred the pot, and it's clear that not everyone is sold on Sanders' potential or his attitude. But in the NFL, every team has its critics, and every player has to prove themselves time and time again. What matters now is how Sanders responds to the challenges ahead, and whether he can adapt to the Steelers' disciplined, tough style of play. Looking ahead, the Steelers' secondary has always been a point of pride, but in recent seasons, they've faced some inconsistencies. Adding a young, talented safety like Sanders could be exactly what they need to solidify that unit. Remember, the AFC North doesn't just compete physically. It's a battle of mental toughness, strategic depth, and resilience. Pittsburgh's defense has been historically formidable, but the league evolves rapidly. They need players who can adapt, who bring energy and swagger, and who can elevate the entire unit. Sanders fits that mold, especially given his athletic gifts and the coaching staff's reputation for developing young talent. And let's not forget the broader picture. The Steelers are in a bit of a transitional phase. They've got a solid core, but they're also looking to build for the future. The draft, free agency, and strategic moves like potentially bringing in Sanders are all part of that puzzle. The AFC North is stacked. Baltimore has their young star quarterback and a tough defense. Cincinnati keeps finding ways to contend with their explosive offense. And Cleveland is always lurking with their talent and grit. Pittsburgh knows they need to stay ahead of the curve, and adding a player like Sanders could be a crucial step in that direction. Now, moving a bit into the specifics of what Sanders brings to the table, he's known for his versatility. He's not just a safety in the traditional sense. He has the ability to play closer to the line of scrimmage, blitz, and cover tight ends. His instincts in the secondary are impressive, and he's shown the capability to make game-changing plays. That kind of versatility is exactly what the Steelers' defensive coordinator looks for when constructing a dynamic secondary. Plus, his youth means he can develop over several seasons, becoming a fixture in their defensive plans. Of course, there are some questions. Can he mature and stay focused? Will he adapt to the physical and mental demands of the NFL? These are the concerns that coaching staff will be evaluating during training camp and beyond. But the potential upside is undeniable. If he can harness his talent and channel his energy positively, he could be one of those hidden gems that turns a good defense into a great one. And with the Steelers' history of developing defensive stars, there's reason to believe that Sanders could thrive under the guidance of their coaching staff. So, what does this all mean for Steelers fans? Well, it's an exciting time. The team is always looking for that next piece that can elevate their game, and Sanders might just be that guy. The Steelers have a rich history of turning young prospects into Pro Bowl players, and the current coaching staff, led by Mike Tomlin, is no stranger to making that happen. They've done it before with players like Minkah Fitzpatrick, and there's every reason to believe they're willing to do it again. The potential signing of Shilo Sanders signals that the team is serious about bolstering their secondary and staying competitive in a league that's more competitive than ever. Looking at the bigger picture, this move, if it materializes, could send ripples through the AFC North. It's not just about filling a roster spot. It's about sending a message to divisional rivals that the Steelers are still a force to be reckoned with. They're willing to take calculated risks and invest in young talent to sustain their championship aspirations. And for us fans, it's a roller coaster of anticipation, wondering how this young safety will fit into the team's identity, how he'll perform under pressure, and whether he'll become a fan favorite in the Steel City. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Shilo Sanders is the answer to the Steelers' safety puzzle? Are you excited about the potential signing, or do you have concerns? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers community. Remember, this offseason is just getting started, and with every move, the team is shaping its destiny for the upcoming season. I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and all the latest Steelers news, so stay tuned and keep that passion alive. Thanks for being here, and as always, go Steelers.